starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, there's a lot to talk about because once again, American economy is in danger. There's cracks, ladies and gentlemen. They're forming now. You may be rejoicing from this up and down, but sooner or later, will the cracks become a canyon? Stay tuned because I believe so. I want to hear from you on this SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And welcome. Stop Struggling Now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here missing all of this information. And it's about time that you consider it 1 year, 6 months to get your financial situation in order. Financial freedom, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going to have to happen if you're going to stay above the fray. If you don't want to stay above the fray and fall in line with about 250 million other Americans, it's going to be deep in America, in these United States of America. So once again, everything looks like it's kind of teeter-tottering. But please, once again, share the videos. And before I forget, it's starting to get a little warm. That means iced coffee, iced tea, sun tea. Now's the time to go to Beachfront Java, our own professor, Auntie Val and family. You got to show some love, ladies and gentlemen. Premium blended coffee. Indonesia, from Indonesia, from Central America, from South America, from Africa. Those beans, they're very, very special. And Ziploc bags, so it's always fresh. Half-pound bags up to 5-pound bags. Now, I know a lot of you do not understand the health goodness from coffee and tea, but all you who like drip ground, she's got it. All of you who like that espresso for the jolt, she has it. If you say I can't do any of that, I have a Keurig, she has it. And of course, if you need whole bean, she has it. Now, the other thing, half-pound bag to 5-pound bag, that's where you get it, ladies and gentlemen. Go to beachfrontjava.com. And if you want a special promotion where you get a discount for life, she has it. SSN Lifestyle, all one word, all capital letters. That's how you get your discount for life after your first order. Free shipping in the United States. Outside the United States, you're going to have to pay shipping. All right, go to beachfrontjava.com, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it. All right, because we have to support our own and we have to support locals, businesses, and people that are in business. And especially if it's your friends and family. You have to help them out. There's lots of jobs. You guys have heard UPS is laying off 10 to 20,000 people. You know that. The government has laid off hundreds of thousands of people. So right now, we're already, last week, 241,000 jobless claims. Last week. What are they going to be this week? Another 200 and some thousand? There was only 177,000 jobs in the month of April that was created. So we already are going to be negative for the month of May. You already know this. So do you think that all these people looking for jobs is going to be a great job market? That's going to drive down wages. It's not going to increase wages because now you have people who have, well, 100 six-figure jobs. They're out of a job. And when you can't pay your rent or don't have food in the cupboards or whatever the case may be financially, you're going to take a lower paying job. And you're going to have to if you have way too many people out here looking for a job. And apparently that's what's going to happen. That's the little crack that has already started. We haven't gotten to the other cracks where the cost of living has increased. So therefore, that's a crack. You haven't gotten to the 80% of the population in America, USA, is living paycheck to paycheck. That's a crack. You start stacking up all the cracks, and you who are watching this, you better be very, very thankful if you have disposable income that you can make investments from. But some of you may say, hey, Eric, you know what? I don't have any money. I can't do anything. Yes, you can. Financial freedom comes in all shapes and sizes. I tell everyone right now, go to bizbuysell.com. bizbuysell.com. Peruse through all of the businesses because you may come across and you will come across a business because the baby boomers, they're 70, 75, 80 years old. And they're sitting there saying, you know what? I want to give up my business, but I can't give up the income. So I will let you take over control of my business and you can make payments to me on a monthly stipend. That's how they're going to do the deal because they know how much the business makes. So if the business makes $30,000 a year or $30,000 a month profit, he knows that. So therefore you have opportunity. In the ad, they'll say owner finance. So imagine the owner says, give me $5,000. I'll even help you out. It's there, ladies and gentlemen, biz buy sell. It's not that often, but you'll run across a few businesses around the country that the owner is getting older. His family doesn't want to do the business either. The youngsters are saying, I don't want to touch it. Fine. He's going to try to make money from it. He'll say, give me 5 to 6 to 7 to 10 grand. You're going to still make 20. And when we get to a certain point, then I need my whatever, 100,000 or whatever the case may be. That's how you can do it. All right. You want your financial freedom? You might have to go hunt it down, ladies and gentlemen. It may not be staring at you in the face in your local market even. All right. Post-retirement travel. Mr. Worldwide, he understands. He wants that financial freedom. He has worked a long time to achieve it, where he does have that extra streams of revenue coming in. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do here. Get everybody up to par. We can't leave you behind if you don't want to be left behind. We have things, ask questions. We have open comments. We have people from all walks of life who do several different things and who have done several different things. That's what makes this special because we try to go through every comment. We try to answer any questions. We try to make sure you have a pen, pad, and paper ready because you never know when a gem is going to be dropped. Now, the cracks are everywhere. But so far, our economy, which was the most resilient in the G7, In case you don't know what that is, there's a summit twice a year where countries like United States, Canada, England, France, Russia used to be in it. That's when it was G8. They got booted for their nonsense they do. So there's other countries too. I just don't know who the actual G7s are, but they're the top financial Australia, top financial countries. They have a meeting every year. And at one time, after COVID, we were number one. And so now with this turmoil that's happening here, the G7 summit has been very interesting when all of our allies, Germany, France, and all these guys are meeting up with our president and they're saying, what's going on, man? How's this happening? Felix Bandawe, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And by the way, he brings a tagline, how can I participate from Malawi? Malawi. Thank you so much. I can't believe this. Don't tell me you're from the motherland. You're over there from the, and again, ladies and gentlemen, now I always have to preface this because I call it the motherland for a reason. Because I believe if you are religious, Adam and Eve, we're talking about the Garden of Eden. We're talking about fruits. And what are those fruits? Diamonds, gold, fruits, vegetables, water. It's all in Africa, the motherland for everybody. So welcome. You can participate several different ways. The first way, you either can contact United States Consulate, contact an employer. You have several things you can do. H-1B, that's a visa. Work visa, student visa. You can have several different type of visas to actually come here legally, or you may be saying, well, Eric, I'm not leaving. I'm not coming. That's a long trip. I just want to be able to participate in buying some real estate. Well, that's pretty easy too, because people from outside the United States can buy real estate. So once again, that can help you out buying real estate. Go to discountlots.com if you're one of these people that likes land and you have an idea. You can buy land and you might want to get an ITIN number. ITIN number from the Social Security Administration, but first work on that visa situation. Hopefully that helps you out right there. Now, participating, because we're not doing the group efforts no more. And we're not doing anything like that because we have to stay. We can't take any high risk, high rewards at this point because there's cracks out here. But very, very nice to see you, Felix Bandawe. Bandawe, I think that's how we pronounce it. Bandawe. Thank you so much for being here. Jaway J. We'll talk about some other things as well. So I don't know. I don't think you're going to be able to. You're from Africa, so they're going to block you. So I don't think you can download unless you're in America. You're not going to be able to download Robinhood. These are brokerage accounts to buy stocks. Robinhood, Webull, anything like that. But if you fly to America, you can always down when you're in America and set up an account. I think that's what you can do. There's several options here. Jaway J's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Another investor's here. Gets me excited. I get goosebumps when we have the superstars of investing in the house. And he says, hello, SSN Nation. Receive notifications. Smash the like button. He gave it a 1 piece. It's free, everybody. Give it a 1 piece. I'd greatly appreciate that. All right. Look at here. I'm very excited when I have somebody outside the United States checking out the channel. I appreciate that. At least I'm assuming that's where you're from. Hold on. You know what? Maybe I think that's where it is. Oh, I'm not astute at African nations. Let me go see for a fact. Let me see where it is. East Africa. Yes, I am correct. And this is what I was actually looking for. This is unbelievable. I knew there was in Africa that I think it's Gucci. Damn, I think it's Gucci, right? Or it's Gucci. They have the black, the green, and red. I knew it. In fact, I was talking with the wife about that. I said, because she had a bag, and I said, wait, what's that African flag doing on your bag? And she's like, what? She's like, no, this is, I don't know who it is. You guys know I'm not into brand stuff, right? And she goes, no, this is so and so. And I'm like, what? No, that's an African flag. That's not. Yeah. And so now I believe that's black, red, and green. That's the one. That's the colors on the bag. That's too funny. Post-retirement travel. All at this time tomorrow. Hold on a second. I can't read it right now. At this time tomorrow, we'll be at your home country of France. Bonjour, monsieur. Bonjour, monsieur. Okay. Bonjour. Bonjour. All right. I can't believe it. Where you staying at, man? Come on now. You staying in Paris? Come on. The City of Lights? Oh, right on. Post-retirement travel going on the worldwide tour, starting in the EU zone. And the dollar is weakening. Even if you go to the DR, Dominican pesos to the dollar, because the dollar has weakened, has went down to 58 to 1. Oh my God. In fact, you know what? Let me go check something else out since he's going to the EU. Let's go see what the EU it's $1.13 to €1. Well, €1 equals $1.13. It's going to cost about 10%. 13% ain't that bad, but it is what it is. Yeah, the dollar's losing steam, ladies and gentlemen. That devaluing is a problem. So anyhow, you're going to have fun. It's great. Let us know what city you're starting this at. And hopefully, oh, by the way, post-retirement travel, you guys see him on the screen. Go over, tap on his picture, go over and subscribe to his channel, because I know he's going to have drone footage. And go over to Instagram and go hit up post-retirement travel. You just never know what pictures. That Machu Picchu pics were awesome, and a few others. And so also check them out, ladies and gentlemen, along with us at Stop Struggling on Instagram as well. And there's nothing down below in the description box just yet, because today was just an even kill day. The 9 days of green, well, it was eventually going to happen because people generally take profits. And I didn't see any heavy profit taking right now because, again, there's cracks in the system. So people are a little worried, ladies and gentlemen. So therefore, it just went down a little. I don't know what Jerome Powell's saying. He didn't pick up the phone. He didn't answer the phone call today. I said, hold on, let me find out what he's thinking. Let me go find out what these board of governors are thinking for the Fed. I'm like, because this could be crazy right now, because is he really going to go full? If he does something prematurely, which he never does, he could switch up. He could say, I'm going to reduce 0.25. I'm going to be like, that's not good. All right. Just so you guys know, not good at all. All right. Okay. Going to Paris, says post-retirement travel for 6 days. Which side of town you're going to be on? Then driving to Normandy. Oh, you're going for the historics. Okay. You're going to that historical location. Man, okay, for a few days to check out the American. Oh, you're going there. American National Cemetery, showing some love for the VAs, the veterans. That post-retirement travel is one of them. Going to go show some love. I appreciate that, man. That's awesome. Oh, and Omaha beaches. Oh man, we have an Airbnb walking distance to the beaches. Damn, you like that historical stuff, man. It always made me feel kind of, even though well, yeah, the gun turrets and all that are still there, and there's a few other things, historical markers, I guess you would call them. But talking about people dying, coming in from the beach, and just Jesus, cannon fodder. That is crazy that they got enough people on the beach, first of all, which made you still not safe, and advance. That was incredible. And if you guys don't know history, they had to make special amphibious vehicles in the United States, specially made because they didn't exist where they could actually have equipment and everything land on the beach from actually being in the specially equipped amphibious vehicles. It's a it's a marvel what they did in a short period of time because we were battling over here with Japan on the Pacific theater. And so that's why the United States didn't want to jump in because let's call it what it is, factories and things like that had to be up. And so that's why Hitler was able to march in the late 30s, 40s, and all this stuff. It was crazy. And luckily, the good guys won. My God, he was that close. If he would have listened to his generals, it would have been over, ladies and gentlemen. We'd all be speaking German. It's crazy right now. I don't know what would have happened to me. The dude was like trying to slaughter everybody, Jews, anybody of color. He was like, no, not having it. That guy was crazy. Not as bad as King Leopold, though. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. This time we're visiting Germany, Italy, Milan, and Rome, Turkey, Croatia, the Kingdom. Oh, my. Before returning to the land of bills, USA. Oh, man, I feel for you. You're going to be over there chilling, relaxing. The vibes are different. I hope, man. You know I like the EU, man. That is awesome. So how long are you going to be gone, though? This looks to be, if you're going to Turkey, Croatia, United Kingdom, Milan, Rome, my God, man, that's seven. Is that 7 countries? Or that's 7 locations, but 6 countries? I mean, you got to stay at least like 5 or 6 days each place, right? I mean, well, once you're in the EU, you can go anywhere, anyhow. Nothing that $99 or one-way tickets, you don't need to do anything. Nothing that $50 and a bullet train won't cure either. So you can get around. Or return to land of bills. I like that. I like it. Because cracks are here, ladies and gentlemen. If you have 80% of the population that's living paycheck to paycheck and we're a consumer nation, that's a problem. That's a crack. How many cracks do you want? We're printing money. That's a crack. Everything is a crack that actually sooner or later the foundation is going to implode. There's a stress fractures going on right now, and it is not good. You got 1 year, 7 months. So what I'm going to do before I forget, because again, the live streams, for whatever reason, I cannot put them up prematurely. So I have to start it, and by doing that, I can't put things on YouTube or anywhere else for that matter. So the title of tonight's live stream does not match until I change it. So don't worry, we'll get there. Now, speaking of cracks, let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. What's the play right now? What do you plan on doing investment-wise? I said it before Friday and last Wednesday. I said it again. You might want to consider real estate. And some people are going to go, what are you talking about? Real estate is going to be a problem. So if you've locked in and live at a home and have whatever you have with living arrangements right now, you better pray that nothing happens because prices should be going down. There's going to be a lot of inventory on the markets. United States and the rest of the world, they do a lot of shenanigans. Banks will hold on to things because they can write it off. They won't sell it to make it appear, well, we have 1,000 places for sale in this city. So they hold back. We have foreclosures, but they say, hold on, we're not going to kick people out. There's no reason. We're going to have to do the upkeep. We're going to have to pay all this stuff. So we don't want to, so we'll let them stay there. We'll try to do loan modifications. We'll do all this. They'll extend it, hoping that things turn around for the better, but nothing's going to turn around. The cracks are here. People can't get insurance. That's a crack. So now, is it really worth it going to buy something and then saying, you know what, I'm not going to insure it. I can't. They won't insure it for me. So now you're at risk. And as far as I know, there's a lot of places that have bad weather. There's a lot of places that have trees, hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, fires, mountain slides from rain. There's all kind of things that can happen to a home, and to not be able to insure it. And we're talking about a significant number of people in each state. This isn't just like 1 or 3 or 4 people out of 100. We're talking about 20, 30, 40 people out of 100. Your house is too old, not insured. Roof isn't up to date, not insured. Oh, you have something that looks like foliage in your yard, not insured. By drone, not insured. You're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all cracks. Okay, we will return July 2nd, says post-retirement travel, back to the USA. Only returning because our daughter has surgery, nothing serious. That's good to hear. Mid-July. Otherwise, we would have stayed until mid to late August. And why can he do this, ladies and gentlemen? Because he set his life up perfect. He had a job. Then he says, oh, I'm going to get out of that one. I'm going to get a second job. He has that job. He says, okay, I got pension. Then he'd been doing a 401k. And by the way, we got to talk about Roth 401k. All right? Roth 401k. And he did the 401k. Then he bought some real estate, rents it out. Then he says, let me do some short-term rental and got some more real estate, pre-construction style. And does option income trading as well to add additional streams of revenue again. So now put money in the stock market over all these years, made investments. That is the perfect storm. That's what you have to aspire to. All of it that we've been talking about for 5.5 years, almost 6, coming up. But that's just it, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the reward is right here. Him and his family get to go around and do not have to return unless they want to. One-way tickets, ladies and gentlemen, unless round trip is necessary. All right. All right. Be safe out there, man. It looks like you're going to all nice places, so I don't see a problem. I don't see a problem at all. Hold on. I got a situation here. I see. I had a couple short-term rentals, and so guys are sending me some confirmations. We're trying to get back from our 10% occupancy rate. Hopefully, we'll see. It's not conducive for that. I will say tourism is down in several countries. That's not good either. Cracks. Just keeps being cracks. Keeps being cracks. Tariff war, another crack. Bonds staying over, you know what? I don't know if they've stayed over 4%. They probably are because it's got to be 4.2, 4.3. I'm pretty sure. Let me go see what bonds are. This is the only way we can print some more money. 4.349 is the 10-year U.S. bond. Man, I anticipate this to stay in 4.3. 4.2 to 4.4, it might even get to 4.5, which would be terrible if it did that. That's the only way you can get investors is paying 4%. And again, I caution you, $1 trillion of bonds, 10% is 100 million. 4% is 40 million in interest. You add a couple more trillions and you have $120 million plus in interest payments owed, never mind the principal. This is how you get into financial difficulty by doing this. This is just like if you were able to put a bond out and say, hey, I'll give you 4.5%. We're broke, but give us money so we can make more money. And I don't think you're going to do that, would you? You're going to be like, no, I'm not doing that. Have you lost your mind? You owe $36 trillion. And then you go, well, see, that's why our bond is 4.3%. Unlike other countries who's 2.5 or 1.5, $1.50, $2, $2.50. And it may have something to do with their rating. But again, there's cracks in the system, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why you've been following the playbook. That's why you had to have something offshore as well. Part of your playbook. A bank offshore as well. Especially if you have a country that's talking about, well, we'll make crypto like the currency, tokens. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they do tokens, all I can say is bye. I will not live in America. I can tell you that right now. I'm not doing it. Electricity goes out, you have no access. And electricity does go out in America. We're not doing our electrical grid. Also, that means they can actually block me off. They can say, oh, well, you can't log into that government approved exchange. So now, no more duffel bags of cash, although cash would probably still be taken. But they're not going to be printing up anything new. Oh my, that's a problem. That is a big time problem. And then what if you leave the country and you go to a country where there is no crypto and your phone says, sorry, you're not from this country. You can't open an account. You have no access. It's very, very, very crazy that somebody would say crypto as currency. That is scary to me. I'm going where they have paper. I'm going where they have ATMs. I'm going where they have banks that I can walk into. I'm not going to where somebody can just ride off into the sunset like their, what was that? FT, what was that? Oh, what was that company? I can't remember the company now, from the crypto company that went bankrupt. And the guy was getting all kind of accolades. Crazy stuff, ladies and gentlemen. There's cracks. Joe Nay, another investor's here. He's part of the Mr. Worldwide Tour Club investor as well. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. He says, good evening, everybody. Wishing everybody good health on this Money Making Monday live stream. I saw the trailer and I just smashed that like button. Thank you so much for that, Joe Nay. Greatly appreciate it, man. Greatly appreciate you being here. Hopefully you're having fun down there in the DR. And hopefully all is going good. I haven't contacted your boys yet, which I'll do probably tomorrow, because I want to find out a little bit more before I really get into some things with them, because it has potential. Plus, I want to come see the area as well, because I'm not a guy that goes with the gentrification moves. The reason why is because that's not my investment strategies. I always want something that's a little more upscale luxury. That's what I like. The reason why I like that is this. It's playing out right now. So the people that can afford to go somewhere are going to stay in upscale luxury locations generally. They'll take something lower, but the mass majority of those, they're going to pick their normal places that cost a little bit more. So we'll still get our money as long as our place is upscale luxury with the appropriate amenities. The problem comes in if you don't have something in that is, just mind you, this is my opinion. Also, this is also based on 30 plus years of dealing with travel and vacations and rentals and things like this, is that if everybody can charge, like this is what's happening right now. It's May, it's not high season, and FTX trading. Thank you so much, Yahweh J. The thing is this, right now in DR, because it's low season, no matter where you stay, I can pay $50 per night, except probably not Cap Cana. I haven't even looked. I should look. Well, actually, I don't want to stay in Cap Cana. So The point I'm trying to make, though, is there's several places that you could pay $50 a night or even less for a one bedroom right now. But there's 6,600 Airbnbs available in La Altagracia, which is, Punta Cana, Macau, Verón, Bávaro, Los Corrales, El Cordacito, Cap Cana, in downtown Punta Cana. All of these areas are included in this. 6,600, up from 5,800 last year. And it's probably going to reach 7,000 by the end of the year, because there has to be more units coming online. And another 400, they'll be at 7,000. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to have 400 more this year delivered. So this is the cracks that they're going to experience. And if we don't have enough tourists, then there's going to be a problem on the island. This applies to every country, every place, everywhere. This isn't just a DR thing. The United States and the EU are the consumer nations. So once the consumer nations cannot get their citizens enough money, livable wage money, we got a problem. By the way, I should tell you guys something. I wish I had. I can't even use my phone on this. Here's what I want to tell you. It's something like, if you take away the top 1%, the average wage for America goes down to, I don't know the number, but I'll just give you an example. It's dramatic. It's like the average wage goes down to 100 and something thousand, right? Then if you take the top 10%, it drops down to it's like 75 or 70,000. Then if you take away the top 20, it's like 39,000. For the rest, can you imagine 80% of the population averages $39,000 in wages? Where are you going to live? That's going to take two households for a $2,000 per month any day, because you don't make 6 G's. So how's that going to work? 6 G's a month. How's that going to work? FTX trading was the name. Exactly. I don't want that FTX situation. That's going to be crazy. That's going to be real crazy. Jonay, 11 countries have stopped using the dollar. The Thai baht has grown on the dollar. Exactly. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, speaking of cracks, those countries, their currency is volatile. So they can't be world currency, obviously. None of this lines up right now, but they're playing the long game, while America's BSing. And again, I've said this before, there's 8 billion people on the planet. Those 11 countries have half of the population. Keep that in your head. That's another crack. All those guys could just say, we don't need the dollar. We'll just trade amongst ourselves, like old days, bartering. We'll trade amongst ourselves. We have 4 billion people. Sure, 1 billion might be poor, or 2 billion might be poor, but it doesn't matter. They still can do they have water, they have oil, they have precious metals, they have rare earth. They have a lot of stuff that America doesn't even have. So they have a huge advantage. So they're not out here just barking. And that's why we need the US dollar to actually be strong and not be this constant borrowing. We're at what came out? 1.4 trillion? That's incredible. 1.4, 1.2 trillion budget when we're already 36, 37 trillion in the hole already, officially. And if you do derivatives, it's even worse. So what do? It's the same old. You have to go where the wealthy go. Offshore. You got to do it. You got to go with all phases right now on deck. If you got to get land, get it. If you got to get commercial property, get it. If you got to get something that gives you revenue from a residential property, then do it. No matter what happens, you're going to have to do it. Act like the rich guys. You need to get offshore, start a business, have some contacts, Get some property, get some projects, do something offshore. You need it. Do what they're doing. I know right now we're going to have Mr. Worldwide going around the world. He's going to be in the EU zone. I know he's going to be thinking, should I be checking out some property over there while he's there? There's only certain countries that would allow a United States citizen or an outsider to buy. So he's going to be in a few countries that do allow it. So he might be checking out getting the lay of the land, checking out how things are. That'll be pretty cool. So we'll see what happens. But you're exactly right, Joe Nate. Exactly right. Safe travels at post-retirement travel. When you arrive in Rome and have time to check out the U.S. ambassador's residence, in the basement there is a wine cellar and a large table where deals, exactly, and diplomatic agreements were made over wine and cigars. You know that's right. This is what I'm talking about. Exactly. This is what you do, ladies and gentlemen. I don't smoke cigars, but it's funny how that works out. Wine, cigars, and some cheeses and crackers and some steaks and whatever. Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. That's exactly what's happening. Okay, it's cracks. Okay, cracks. This one I'm making the title, Cracks in the Financial. Whoa. Hold on. Just a second. Okay, I see what I got going on. Hey, by the way, I should say I'm recreating this. This isn't the exact title, but I got cracks in the USA's financial system. It means what? Financial freedom, ladies and gentlemen. I know you don't feel like it right now, but opportunities are going to come up. You know why? Because another crack. I don't even know how many cracks I've mentioned. Liquidity for loans. That's going to be a problem because you can't get a low interest rate. Some people can, but the majority of borrowers cannot. And I'm referring to commercial. So now it's going to start locking up. And that is where we go back to 2007, 8, 9. And the banks are going, oh, save us, bail us out. We don't have the flow. Same thing, ladies and gentlemen. It was never fixed. And that's bad. Jonay, also stop. Also stop at the Vatican. You might see people that stop, man. Stop. You can't gaslight me. You can't gaslight me, man. You can't do it. At Joe Nate from Post Retirement Travel. Good to know that. Awesome. My wife wants to visit the Basilica where Pope Francisco is. Can you imagine if a pope is selected, we're there? That will be amazing. It could happen. It could actually happen if you're going to be there in the next 45 to 60 days. I would imagine it could happen, man. That's going to be awesome. Can you imagine all the people that would be there? And you're going to be at the square. You're going to be at the Vatican. You're going to be at the Basilica. Oh, man, my mom loves the Basilica. She used to talk about that. Man, that building, that historical building, she used to rave about it. Financial, hold on, I got to get this right. What does it mean? Financial freedom, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it means. All of these cracks, we have a tumbling down where things are going to fall as long as you're looking. You can't just be sitting on the sidelines. Again, you know my analogy all the time. The parade is going by. We're in the parade. You know, we're the conductors of the parade, the drum majors. We're getting it done, right? And we're going down performing. We're going down buying. We're going down doing things. Other people are going, yeah, 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 yeah. But they're not doing. They're sitting on the sidelines watching the parade go by. That's what's happening right now. You are not putting your eye on the right prize. You can't go with I don't have. I can't do it. It's not possible. You have to start thinking, what do I need to do to reduce my debt so I can get into the stock game? I can get into the real estate game in a different way, make sure I make money. I can get into the lot game or commercial zones. Everything is going to be available to you because people are going to try to bail out. So therefore, there's deals to be made, contractually deals to be made, because that's what's going to end up happening. Some people are going to say, well, I can't get a loan. They're going to go, I can't sell my house. Some people would say, oh, or my short-term rental, whatever you want. Hey, why don't we do a different deal then? You just sign it over saying, I'm going to be making payments to you. We'll work it out. Whatever you want to do, you're the CEO, ladies and gentlemen. You're also going to be the emerging millionaire. When there's blood in the streets, when there's cracks in the system, you have to take advantage. All right, let's go. Post-retirement traveler Joe Nave, lots of love. I know that photo went viral. Yeah, exactly. Crazy, crazy stuff. Always a jokester. How do you take these people seriously? My God. Dude ain't never even hang out in the church talking about I should be a pope. That is scary stuff right there. Man, I'm gaslit right now. I won't even say what I should be saying. All right. Because it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough when people can't recognize Satan. It's crazy, man. I'm like, if you're a religious person, all I have to say is, if you believe what you're reading, Quran, Bible, I don't really care. And you're sitting there like, here's the teaching of treat people well, be good to your neighbors, treat people kind. They need some food, give them, teach them how to do stuff, help them out. And then you have a person that's the total opposite. It's like, I'm like, how is this even in the religious playbook at all? I'm just like, this doesn't even add up. I'm like, wait, he's against everything this guy says that you guys say is cool. Muhammad, okay, he's a prophet. Jesus, a prophet. If whatever your religion is, you want to go over to the Buddha, the love. If you want to go, no matter what, all religions are generally the same. Love, peace, help, togetherness, pretty much. And then you want to say this guy who has none of those qualities, it's just like, it's bizarre. And people are going, yeah. I'm like, what is wrong? This right here. Remember the end days? I just can't believe it. You don't recognize a guy who can't even put his hand on a Bible to take an oath to be in office. And people are like, yeah, that's the dude. Yeah, God chose him. Okay, enough. Talk about cracks in the system. How about on another note, you have a leader of your country who does not want to abide by the Constitution, and the Bills of Rights, and the amendments added to the Constitution. Your leader doesn't want to go by those, saying things like, well, I got to take it up with my attorney general. It's crazy. That right there is another huge crack that things are going to be off the charts sooner or later. And by the way, you guys know what I used to say. Make sure you have your duffel bags of cash hidden. Do not put them in your house. Do not keep all your weapons. Do not keep all your brass. Do not keep all your food. Do not keep it all in one location. Have multiple locations is what you should start deciding to do. And storage is not one of them. Because when things hit the fan, people will be raiding storage locations, right? Looking for whatever they can find to use to survive. And money's one of those. Weapons are one of those. There's several things that you're going to want, and you're going, well, I'll go get them later and all this, or they're going to be in my house and 20 people come knocking at your house looking for food. Well, it ain't going to help you, man. You have everything right there. You either join them or something worse could happen. All right. Cracks are here, ladies and gentlemen. Jonay, hey, there are some serious situations going on in the U.S. We can't control it, so I guess we can put a smile on each other's face. Exactly, Jonay. But it gets me crazy, man. It drives me crazy because this country was so, it was in a trajectory where we could have went a certain way, and then all of a sudden you have, well, I won't get into it. We have leaders that we've picked over the last 25 years that are detrimental to the American way of life, starting wars when a country didn't run into our towers, and another one because he got insulted, says we got to go over and liberate uh, Kuwait or whatever. I'm like, man, this is crazy. All to protect oil. This is insane, unnecessary, and we spend trillions. Half of our deficit is because of wars, the meltdown, the Great Recession, and this other nonsense that the one president who spent the most in deficit, $7.58 trillion deficit, the most ever by a president. That's insane. 22% of our deficit by one president is insane. And everybody's like, yeah, rah. I'm like, dudes, we're melting down. You don't get it. Cracks, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening. These cracks you're talking about will affect housing affordability, business investment, and consumer spending. Exactly. The trifecta, Jawway J. That is why you can't sit back and wait, because you're going to have to identify something in one of these fields. Consumer spending has to be reduced by you, by me, by everybody. 1 year, 7 months. That's what you got. That's it, in my opinion. Anything can happen before then because we're in a volatile situation right now. All right. Where am I? Oh, okay. Jonay, SECDEF, wants to start something in Iran. I know. POTUS wants to send SF into Mexico. I know. We don't have the funds for it. We don't have. I don't get it. Yeah, I know. Show up in another country talking about, hey, come here with your mask on and stuff. See how well that goes. See how, what's funny? The other countries, go to Mexico, go down there talking about we're going to apprehend people. And you're like, yeah. Here's my fake badge or no badge, and wrap up your head so nobody knows who you are and walk in talking tough. You ain't leaving. I can tell you that right now. That's crap ain't going to happen. All right. That's a bad mojo. No one should be underestimating these dudes. Authorities are finding nasty graves frequently. Exactly. That's exactly right, man. Exactly. Jonay, add those cracks. Yep, to natural disasters. It's going to be a rough 2025. See, there's another crack. That's it exactly. We haven't even gotten to what's coming up. Hurricane season, tornado season, and mudslide rainy seasons in America, and we don't have the money. FEMA's not coming to save you. Nobody's coming. FEMA's not coming to save your ass. So insurance companies aren't coming to save you. So again, you better rethink what you're going to do. Like the people that just had their homes burned in California. Gone, toast. Not all, but 80, 90% of that area gone. They have nothing. Insurance companies, nothing. FEMA, slow rolling. So now what? Where do they live? Where are they living? See? I mean, this is treacherous what's out here right now. Another crack. No insurance coverages, like I mentioned already. German Ferreras, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Very nice to see you once again. Very happy to see you. Let's see the tagline. Hello, man. Shout out to all the famous folks in business. Exactly. German Ferreras have to be in business. Number one, you're going to have to be in business. And if you can get business outside of the United States, that would be highly advisable. And I remind you, I'll pat myself on the back. I told you guys 5.5 years ago. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So once again, you're going to be ahead of the curve because I'm telling you right now what's going to happen in about 3 years. We got 1 year and 7 months because all this turmoil that was happening was not baked into the equation. So that's why I'm doing 1 year, 7 instead of 2 more years, 2 years and 3 months, because things going to hit the fan before that. We don't have 2 years and 7 months left. We only have 1 year and 7 months. All right. You got to get everything in order. Your credit too, by the way. Speaking of credit, I'm going to put something down below. Smart credit, self, all that. I'm going to get Tracy's information down here as well. That's going to be up first because we have 80% of the population living paycheck to paycheck. You need your credit handled in the next 1 year to 2 years. You got to. On the other side of that, the way Tracy at resolvefinance.com, Tracy, Tracy at resolvefinance.com, let her know Eric sent you, SSN Nation sent you. The thing is, the reason why is because after you come out of the year to 2 years later, your credit will be back in good standing. And now you've gotten your debt wiped off. You're good to go. That is what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So that's what all these cracks is an opportunity on the other side. So when credit freezes up, right? I'm expecting that to happen as well. When the dollar keeps getting devalued and it loses its value around the world, it's going to cost United States citizens when you travel more money. So now you're not going to want to really travel. Then you're going to be here in America and you're going to be subject to whatever the climate is. And depending on what you look like, could matter a lot, especially when you are a nation of immigrants and people from certain countries favor each other. So you don't know if a person could be from the Philippines or from Mexico in some case. You don't know if a person can be from the Philippines or South Korea in some cases. So it's like this thing about what we're doing is crazy. And this is not good for anybody. All right. Joe Nay says, Asian coastal countries know climate change is real. I know. Cali folk know how climate change is real. The naysayers will realize this is real. Imagine a 20, 30-foot wave coming at you while you were on the beach. Oh, don't even, man. Don't even talk about tsunamis. Don't even. And by the way, all you guys who travel and go to beaches, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. If you walk out to the beach, there's a difference. You walk out to the beach early morning, it's low tide, it's the beach is still doing its thing, right? But if you're at the beach and all of a sudden the water starts receding, like you're standing there and it's receding, you better start hightailing it out of there immediately. And I'm talking about receding like 20, 40, 50, 60 yards, 70 yards, and it's not coming back up right away. There's a problem. Even though you didn't feel the earthquake, there's a problem in the middle of the ocean, especially on the Asian. It happens a lot. Sometimes tsunami warnings in Hawaii. America doesn't get too many, but there have been a few on the East Coast and West Coast, but it's very rare, but it can happen, and climate change is real. A lot of people don't believe that, but there's going to be more catastrophe this year. You rest assured. And there's no recovery. FEMA's not coming. The insurance company's not coming. The government's not coming. The state government gets funding from the federal government to help you. So if they don't have enough money, then what are they going to do? So now what? Now what? Joe Nay, he's giving you the right thing right there. When you see animals start migrating, that's how you know. Exactly. You're exactly right, man. You see birds and you see animals starting to act weird. Oh, yeah. You know something's happening. It's coming. Oh, you're right, Eric. Also, watch the birds. Exactly. That's exactly right, man. I do that all the time. All the time. When weather starts to seem like weird and all of a sudden you'll see animals like getting sheltering. You'll see birds start like leaving in flocks. You're like, oh yeah, something's coming. Thank you for the warning, but we don't know what. I know I'm not on an island, so it can't be that. It's so, it's that type of thing. But yeah, it's crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you take this warning seriously. Now, down below in the description box, I do have Credit Strong. I do have Smart Credit for you. If you want to monitor your credit system, get Smart Credit because they help you improve your credit score by monitoring it. It's one of the best monitoring systems ever. All right. And it monitors not only your credit scores, but your hiring index, your insurance scores, your car scores, your FICA 8 car score. So that way you know in advance if you're going to qualify for the best rates, if you're going to have to get loans. I do not recommend getting loans. I'm just putting it out there. Do not expand your expenses base. Try to reduce it. We don't need anybody over here going to buy now, pay later to buy groceries, which is a thing now. Can you believe that? Buy now, pay later to buy groceries. There are people have already maxed out their credit cards by buying groceries because people are using their credit cards. So now credit cards are going to continue to rise because people can't pay off $10,000. There's only 70% of the population has $1,000 in their bank account. So the majority of people can't pay off a $5, $10, $15,000 credit card. They'll pay the minimum payments and pay the freaking interest rate, never pay it down, and then hope they increase your line of credit so then you can increase it and still not be able to pay it down in a loop. And now you're stuck because you don't have any wealth building capabilities once you have maxed out your financial situation. You need disposable income. All right. Cracks in the USA financial system. It means what, ladies and gentlemen? So here's what happened today. Also, Ford, they said we might be impacted by a few $1 billion because of tariffs. So we have no guidance. We don't know what's going to happen. There's a few companies that said the same thing. We're not going to try and guess what's going to happen because we don't know. Tariffs, remember that pause on tariffs is something's supposed to come off. Either do or don't do it coming up in the next few days. Jerome Powell, again, no phone call with him. I don't know what's there to talk about. He can't reduce interest rates. He can't increase interest rates. He's pretty much should be standing pat, not knowing what's going to happen with the economy. It's up in the air. But also Ford said that they're going to bring production for one of their SUV models to one of the Ford plants already built in the United States. So now on the other flip side, they said due to tariffs, we're going to be bringing in a new line, an SUV, but that means we're going to take out a couple of existing car lines we're producing. So it's a zero-sum game. It's a zero-sum game. And so therefore, that's not a good thing. And the cars they're making here, they're going to ship to EU zone, which is wild. But remember, the parts is going to cost more. So everything is out of kilter right now. Businesses are scrambling. So once again, if your business is going to rely on any other country for parts, you're in limbo, just like the big boys. We can't give you any financial guidance for the future because we might be hit with a $4 billion or $5 billion tariff that's going to cost us. So keep all that in mind. You're not immune. If you're going to be in business, you're going to be hit with tariffs too. Your higher prices as well. And businesses are going to move differently. They're going to act differently. They're going to say, oh, you want to do business with us? Well, we can't take any risk. So we need you to do X, Y, and Z. You might not like it. They might say, well, if you're going to do business with us, we'll make it for you. We'll do this, we'll whatever. But it's going to be a premium. It's no longer part of the equation. They're just going to go, well, hold on. We don't know how much it's going to cost. If you don't do this right now, we don't know how much it's going to cost 30 days from now because something could change. So we can't honor this price later. Either you got to do it now within the week or two or forget about it because we can't honor this. We don't know what's going to happen. So with all that type of chaos, you have cracks in your system. The reason why cracks haven't shown up is because we have a top-heavy system. We have a stock market that can be manipulated. And the majority of people go, oh, it's going great, but it's not going great for Main Street. It's not you. It's only the people. 93% of the stock market is owned by the top 10% of the wealthiest. So the bottom 90% is sharing 7% of the stock market. So it's not you. That's the thing. It cracks me up. It's us who's in the stock market. This is true. The 7%ers. But the top 10, they're going to be fine either way. It's manipulated. They already have the assets. They have the money. They have everything I'm just talking about. They have the real estate. They have offshore businesses. They have offshore residences. They have everything. They can just up and leave. And that's what you need to put yourself in position for, so you can up and leave and operate in case the need arises. You have this is no your grandma's America where you're going to sit there and go, oh yeah, we'll have a house in the family for 50, 60, 100 years. That's not going to happen. You guys can forget that. Them days are over because your kids can't pay back the deficit. That's the thing. They're bootstrapped. They can't pay back the deficit unless they get a nice high-paying job. And those are dwindling. Paul Castillo, another investor, is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline, good evening, SSN Nation and family. Good evening to you. I hope everybody is doing well. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Ooh, man, mental health is going to be big time now. Big time. People are stressed, man. And stress hurts your health. Again, these are all bad signs. These are cracks. More people under mental illness with no mental illness coverage. No way. You can't. Where are you going to go? You don't have the money. You can't afford to go in and see a professional to try and help you through. So now what? What? You're a coworker that's going to come in and shoot up the place? What are we going to have here? I mean, this is the problem right here. We don't even have social services anymore. That's being cut by this administration as well. So kids, medical cares, social services cares, which falls under the mental health. It's just like Reagan when he released closed down all the mental institutions, right, in California. So same thing. Where did all these people go? I'm just saying. It's crazy. And we're in the same situation after 100 years ago. Crazy. So again, Mental Health Awareness Month, people are traumatized in America. This is what's crazy. I wish I had it. God dog it. 52% of the population in America is literally illiterate. That's scary right there. Scary stuff. So remember to be kind to yourself and others. Exactly, Paul Castillo. That's why I always say, at the end, it's hard out here. And I always say mental health and distress, you never know what somebody else is going through. So either you're part of the solution or you're going to be part of the problem based on what you do. A person's freaking out. They're talking crazy. Try to stay calm. Hey, okay, we'll work this out. Everything will be fine. You don't try to just bum rush them, beat them up, try to get manhandled because they're going to freak out even more. And you never know what somebody is capable of. So exactly right. Do the kind thing. Karma is real. All right. Treat yourself and others with respect. That's the best policy. All right. And all I can say is, like I told you guys before, generally, you can drop me any place I've ever been on the planet, and I have no problems. Zero problems. So, and it's not because people fear me, neither. It's because they're just like, all right, he's cool. We help people. We know who he is. We know what he's about. He's no threat. I've never been the big bad wolf dude in times, but nonetheless, inappropriate setting, let's just put it that way, with the big bad dudes. But just on the open streets, never. Post-retirement travel, agree. Most people aren't even in the market. They just live in the day by day If they don't have at least a 401k or side investments, then that's a wrap. Exactly, post-retirement travel. And unfortunately, we're talking about 50 to 60% of the population, man. And what's even worse is the the people who would be able to leave their children any of the assets, the boomer class, the homes, the rental properties, the commercial properties, the business, they're getting older and people are taking advantage of them, family members oftentimes. And so they're losing all of their stuff while they're still alive, can't leave things. Or you have like the Oracle of Omaha who says, I'm only going to leave my kids a little bit of this and a tenth or less of the empire. The rest of it I'm giving away to charity or, children's hospitals or whatever the case may be. So that's, hey, to each his own. But again, it does not matter when you have this many cracks. If you have a person who's never done any of the business or businesses, and they now are going to be entrusted to do something financially, they're out of their depth. And they will easily lose whatever you left them in a matter of months, or if you can get past years, because they will generally go on a buying spree. So that's what is the lay of the land, law of the land. That's generally how it works. So you have to keep in mind, whatever you're doing, like me, myself, I was like, okay, I'm just going to keep everything because I know what's going to happen. In the next 5 years, hey, all of us right now could be squeezed out. It could happen if things even continue, these cracks continue to get wider and wider, and there's no return. And no return means other countries now jump in and say, you know what, you don't have world currency anymore. If that happens, then this is a whole nother conversation another time, because we won't even have electricity on. I'm just like, this would be bad. So you never know what's going to happen in the future. Like when France got their yanked, when the world currency went out of French hands, when the world currency went out of the UK's hand. Look at how their empire just been going down for the last 100+ years. When they used to have their hands on stuff in Africa, places in India, places in Hong Kong was theirs. I mean, these guys, the sun never sets on the UK British Empire is what they had. They had even in America at one time, right? The British are coming. The British are coming. They were trying to, they were everywhere. But as that world currency shrinks, their whole thing changes. You can't just do whatever you want then. You can't restrict somebody because they are going to war and you want to dictate sanctions and do all. Nah, once you don't have that, you're with the rest of them. Your currency's no good. You're going to have to join the EU in order to make your currency better, maybe. And that's what they did. And the same thing with France, same thing. They all had world currency. So keep this in mind, ladies and gentlemen. You're 2 words away from being the third world country for sure. Soon as the rest goes, you don't have world currency. So that's 4 words. If that happens, ooh, it's going to be bad. Do you think we'll survive these tariffs? The lower and middle class are the most affected by it. No. Paul Castile, 1 year, 7 months is all you have. No, you're not going to survive. 80% of people right now are living paycheck to paycheck here in America. So tariffs means cost of living goes up. They don't have the money. So now we're going backwards. So now that means you have to go, well, I can't afford that, so I can only afford this, which is going to be less. And then it eventually turns into I can't afford the electricity, but I got to have food. I got to have food. I got to have electricity. But now, how much is that gas bill or electric bill? Got to keep on the electric. And it's freezing in the house, so maybe can't keep it at 69. Maybe got to keep it at 60. Wear blankets. I don't know. Get the fireplace. But then if I have a fireplace, you have the wood. Or is it gas? See, you're going to run into problems. You're going to have to take money, rob Peter to pay Paul, until you can't. And the worst part is the 80% who are living paycheck to paycheck, a certain percentage of them are getting laid off right now as we speak. 10 to 20,000 UPS workers, hundreds of thousands of federal workers. 241,000 jobless claims last week. I expect that to be about the same number this week. So there's going to be I would be willing to bet over 700 and some odd thousand jobs that'll be lost. That's going to be recorded for the month of starting next week or whatever, this first week. I wouldn't guarantee it, but I think it's going to be pretty close. So if it's 200 every week, that would be bad because that would be 800,000 a month. And if you start doing stuff like this, we're back at COVID scenarios. And that's not going to be good. So, and it's going to be a downward spiral, a snowball effect, because now there's no money from these people. Now they're not paying their mortgage, right? They can't buy food. They can't pay their credit card bill. All the credit is gone. You got a problem. You got a problem. And now the businesses that are holding the debt, that the creditor who's holding the debt, they can't collect. Now they can't pay their office. It's a snowball effect. So now you contract your businesses, and that's why GDP is not going to reach its goal this year. This is very easy. It's not like rocket science. So hopefully I'm explaining it properly so you can understand. It's very easy. It's not like you can see an implosion, like I was saying before. By tariffs, you do isolationism. So that means either you have your corporations pay it because the products coming from outside of your country is going to cost more. And so now if you have products that cost more and your country isn't situated to produce and manufacture the items at a lower price, well, now we got a problem and no livable wage. So now what? And that's where we're headed. This is what's happened in 1828. This is what happened in 1930. This is kind of what happened in the Great Recession. This also was a Great Recession at the end of the 1800s. All right? Those are the four fatal times in America where things were wiggy. But because we have a system that allows us to cheat the central bank, getting loans, making money out of thin air, that's the only reason we are here today. Just keep that in mind. It can't keep going on and on. Man, I hate those bills. Yeah, man, I hate those bills. They won't stop coming. It's my wife's fault. Yeah, gotta blame it on somebody. Maybe SSN can come up with, okay, can't read it really. Maybe SSN can come up with a meme coin. Oh man, got some capital and investment from the UAE of Saudi Arabia family in the US is doing just that right now. I know. They all get to do it. Come up with the meme coin, make a few mil, and then out. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of doing that. It's tempting, but I'm not a fan. Got to have something to go with it, at least try, right? And unfortunately, I can't see any group settings. I mean, I can come up with businesses that can be done, but we're all going to be in the same boat. People aren't going to be able to pay $5 grand, 10 grand, right? And their cards are already going to be pretty much maxed out. And so therefore, what can we do? They're in a rock and a hard place. So I have your Robinhood, Webull, Moo, and I found out what Moo's doing. Moo, they actually give you free shares of stock, but you have to go find it in their platform rewards. And it's 60 days that you have to wait. All right. So I actually made it a point to go check today. And I was like, wait, so a person, you have to put up $100 for Moo. Then you get 5 free stocks. And then you got to wait 60 days for the disbursement. So nothing special. I got BlackBerry. Yeah, BB. I got something I've never seen, GGB. I got Lucid. I got 2 Lucids. Wait, I got more than 5. I got 2 Lucids, 2 Blackberries, a GGB. Yeah, that's it exactly. Okay, I got 5. 2 looses, 2 BBs, blackberries, and 2 GGBs, whatever GGB was. They're all like $3 or $2. They're not like 100. There was no Apple. There was no whatever else. But nonetheless, just letting you guys know, because I didn't know, because I was like, you know what? Let me see what's happening with the free. I was wondering what happened. So I said, let me go check today. And then I saw 60 days. And you have to claim too, which is another thing. Claim. Come on. Yeah, so you have to go in and claim them. And if you don't claim them, you lose them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable how they got us out here, ladies and gentlemen. Kind of wild. All right. Everybody who just joined us, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you go to help our own Professor and Auntie Val and family, because they're in the coffee and tea business. Go show some love. Iced coffee time. Iced tea time. Some people still like warm coffee. Drip coffee's good for you. Can you believe they have polyphenols in coffee? I never even really drank coffee. Once in a blue moon. I didn't even realize that there was some actual health benefits to coffee. The drip ground is the best. Can you believe this? The polyphenols break down differently when you do the drip coffee. It's interesting. So anyhow, I have to add it to the repertoire, but go down to beachfrontjava.com, use the promo code SSN Lifestyle, all one word, all caps, because after your first order, you'll receive a discount for life. That's what you got to do. It's that simple. She has 20 different varieties of coffee. I'm sure there's something there that you'll love. Also, 1/2 pound bags to 5 pound bags, Ziploc bags, always stay fresh, whole bean, drip, or whole bean, fine ground, drip ground, and Keurig. So she has everybody covered. So go down, show some love at beachfrontjava.com. Right? It's that simple. You got to do it, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, that's a pretty good idea right there. But unfortunately, I don't want to mess with it. And again, the reason why I don't like even really messing with it is because we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I mean, we have some crazy stuff happening right now. Crazy stuff. People are talking about gold standards. Our government is talking about gold standard for the dollar. I'm like, how? That's smoke and mirrors. And then they're talking about crypto as the currency of the USA. I'm just like, that's insane. All right, post-retirement travel says, any updates out of any of the DR projects? No, man. None. Bad news. Cracks. Again, cracks. Why? In DR, they started deporting people, as you guys know, 6 months ago? And they were trying to do 10,000 a week or 15,000 a week. Well, there goes your same as in any country. You don't want to give them a visa? Fine. You don't want to give them a work visa? Fine. You don't want to give them a college student visa either. Okay, fine. Now you have a workforce that's gone, and now you need your ordinary citizens to say, I'll step up and do the work. Well, that's not happening. So now you're having a lot of projects that are screeching to a halt. Even the Seven Palms is going to be late for the first time, because they said the construction company, obviously this was going to happen too, the downfall. Construction companies aren't going to be able to do business because they don't have the workers. So they're going to tell the projects, I'm sorry, we can't do business. And now the project is going to have to come and find a new developer, a builder. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to have shrinkage. And all the builders are going to say, hey, I'm busy. I'm busy. And by the way, it's going to cost you an extra 20, 30% when I'm done. And when are you going to be done? 2 years from now. So you can either get in line or not, because people are going to be coming to me anyhow. I don't even have to worry. You're in the seller's market as a developer in the DR right now. Where are you going to get your workers? This is going to be the problem. So it's not like you can just be a new developer. You're not going to be able to steal other workers from a job site who is getting paid. So now what? So this is where this is going. And oh, by the way, today I got something that was very interesting. How about a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath? Oh, Jonay, let me know if you know where Bavarian Village is in Punta Cana. Yeah, it's in a neighborhood I would never buy in. But the thing is, 3 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. Sorry, scratch that. 4 bedrooms, 4.5 baths, because one of the bedrooms and bathrooms is a service quarters. So, a small place for a maid or a kid. Small room. It's no more than generally, what is it? A twin can fit in there. So what is it? 7, 8 feet by 10, something like that. So anyhow, 4 bedrooms, 4.5 with a pool. Okay. With a pool. 2 levels. Square footage, 215 square meters. And I didn't even break that down. What is that? 230? Is that 2,300? What is that? 2 square feet. Let me go see. Let's go see. Let's go see. Yep. 2,314 square feet is 215 square meters. I'll put it to you this way. Not $215. I know. How about on sale now? $189,000 in Punta Cana. But it doesn't meet the requirements. It's not in an area that has amenities. It's not in an area that's gated. So it's just an ordinary neighborhood. And that's why it's cheap. And guess what else? It's newly built. I know. Crazy. 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 Updates on projects? Let's see. Jonay says he has something. Yes, sir. Projects are definitely slowing down. I spoke to a couple of Haitian workers who said that when this Jardines project is over, they got to go. Yep. Remember, the developers that are legitimate, they actually report their workers and pay for their health care when they're in a worker that's an immigrant. So the government knows where the immigrants are working and potentially live. Not hard to find. So that's what they're saying to Jonay. Makes sense. They're saying, well, after this, we're done. We're leaving. We have no choice. Now you guys can see where we're going. Now you can see why I said what I said the past week when I said I'm going to make a video about this. And in a few days, on Friday, is it Friday? No, it's not Friday. It's Saturday. Got it. Saturday. I'll have Wi-Fi back again so I can make some videos. But one of the videos is going to be about this subject matter because this is going to turn into a buyer's market. So there's nothing that the pre-construction guys can do. If they haven't already sold out or got their pre-construction done, the people that have theirs done, they're going to sell at a reduced price. The people who had theirs built 2 years ago, they're selling right now. And there's deals. I'm getting them every day. Every day I'm getting deals from the DR. They're in Sosua. They're in Santo Domingo. They're in Punta Cana. People are literally bailing on stuff that's only 2 years, 3 in the last 5-year bill. Because they see what the situation is in the open market. They're like, I want to sell. The property doubled in value, or 50% to 100%. And they're like, oh yeah, man, this is a good time to sell. But they're finding out soft market. Because nobody wants to come over there and then come back, and you don't know what's going to happen when you return. Right? So those are the situations that we have to live with. And unfortunately, this is what's going on. You have immigration situation, just like in America, moving everybody out. Now you don't have the workers. Now what? Stall. The worst thing that your country's doing it to themselves. It's insane. 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 Here we go. Paul Castillo. He says, Due to these massive deportations, some of the construction projects now have an excuse to be delayed even more. I hope that Larimar doesn't hit us with a price increase after they said no price increase. Paul Castillo, I'm hoping. I don't know what to say, man. I really can't say anything about DR other than nothing like a little negative. When it comes to contracts and it comes to money, you can rest assured their word is worthless. That's all I'm going to say. From now on, that's it. I don't believe anything they say. Nothing. So you're right. But here's the thing. They're not going to even be, they haven't even broke ground yet. Let's get real. They haven't even started a foundation yet. The cost of everything has risen. What's going to happen when they don't even finish anything till 2029? I mean, the first 4 or 5 towers, I don't even know how they're going to finish 5 towers in 4 years, let alone 1 or 2 17-story towers, and the Farallon area with the beach clubs that they're eloquently showing all over social media like, oh yeah, we'll build these first. I'm just like, whoop-de-doo. Wasting money building them first. The logical thing would be build buildings first so then you can sell inside the buildings. People see those, then they're like, okay, I see something happen. But yeah, there's no updates. And everybody's going to be using this deportation. Every builder is going to be using the deportation, even though we know now nobody builds on time. So this is going to be 100%. There's no holdouts any longer. None of these projects can say, well, we're never late. They're all going to be late. All of them, especially after what the guys at Jardine. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Haitian workers all over are saying when we're done with these projects, we're gone. And where are you going to get the workers who's saying, I don't know how much they get paid, but let's just say it's $10 an hour. Or I don't even want to guess really, because I don't know how much the average wage is in DR for construction workers. They're not in the union. So it's very, very bad. These are all cracks in America and outside of America when you have high tourists. 60% of all tourists that go to the island are from Canada and United States. United States is the bulk, usually around 55, well, 52 to 60%. And then Canada brings in the extra 6, 7, 8, 10. It all varies. Like right now, we have a downturn for USA, about 10 to 15,000 per month, like in the last 2 months. And so then Canadian citizens kind of picked it up because they didn't come to America, they chose there. So, but it's still down 20-some% from Canadian. So if you're going to lose 20% of your top dogs, 4 million, 4.5 million annually just from those 2 countries, you're going to be in the 300,000s. That's not good. 20% is hefty. 900,000 gone. That's crazy. You're going to be at 3.4, 3.3 instead of 8.5. You're going to be at 7.5. No records broken. That's potentially what could happen here. And what other country has the consumers to buy at elevated prices? There's a new project that came out. What's his name? Masters. Property by Masters, right? Mike Masters. He showed a property inside Vista Cana. Just showed it. I was waiting to see the price. 2-bedroom, 96 square feet. 3-bedroom, I think it was over 1,000, like 11 or 1,200, right? Now, it does have white line AC, so fridge, stove, AC units, microwave. So how's that? How's this? 2-bedroom, $276,000 inside Vista Cana, pre-construction. 3-bedroom, I don't remember the price. It was in the 300s. These are condos, not villas, condos. All right? This is inside Vista Cana, by the way. Vistacana has a long way to go. Any downturn is good for everybody who did not buy under 150. Everybody who bought at around, well, you can probably even get into 160, 170-ish, but everybody who bought in the ones, 100,000s, and under 200,000s and up at this point, you may be in jeopardy because you cannot rent for 0.1% if you're doing short-term rentals. That's out. You're not renting for $200 a night for a two-bedroom inside Vistacana. I can stay in Vistacana May 12th to the 16th. I can stay there for 250, 275, $300 for the 4 nights. There's no place that costs $50,000 inside Vistacana. None. The 1 bedrooms were 69 grand. If you got Panorama Lake plus a few others, they were 69 grand. So you should be renting for 70. And I want to caution everybody. The 230, the 250, the 280, and sure, then it starts rising. That includes everything, housekeeping, Airbnb fees added. So I don't even think some of these guys are doing 50 per night. They're in the 40s. It's crazy. It's crazy. So this is what's going to happen. Don't be shocked. So now you're going to have to be on the other side of the fence. You've already committed. You got your unit. Okay, fine. But at least your unit is least expensive price. I'll give it Larimar since we talked about Larimar. You bought a 2-bedroom at Larimar anywhere from 118 to 145 to 150 to 175, whatever. Okay, fine. If they build Larimar, but unfortunately, this has nothing to do with anybody because in the next, it's not going to be built in 3 years. Any semblance of anything, I'm not thinking 3 years, right? Before we have 1 tower or 2 towers. And if you have 1 or 2 towers, okay, great. But how much you're going to be able to rent it for way out there with 1 or 2 towers and a couple of beach clubs or something? You're not going to have any real activity. It's Vistacana all over again because it's going to take them years to build. So now, are you going to be able to rent for the 118, your 2-bedroom, or the 130? Maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe a rebirth where there's money flowing and then people are buying again. But that generally takes 3 to 4 years in itself. So I think that's where we're going. We'll see if I'm right this time. 1.7 months is what we have. Make sure you smash that like button. And let me know what you think in the comment section down here. I want to know. All right. Yeah, and there's nothing new. There's nothing new from the guys over at Cruise on Land. There's nothing new. Vistancia, I don't know what they're doing. Larimar, I don't know what they're doing. It's not like, they just ignore the owners as far as I'm concerned. All of them do, quite frankly. Not all, a large percentage of them do. Nothing new at Vistacana. Of course not. I mean, all the workers work. If you don't have workers and you're doing mass projects, can you imagine? At one point, you might, I don't know how many, but I'll use an example. Maybe you had 3,000 people on site, and now you're down to 500. All these projects are at a freaking standstill. 7 Palms. Again, they're going to be late because their developer said we can't build for you. We're sorry. Now they have to find another developer. Really? You're going to try and find another developer? Well, any developer worth their salt's already taken, and they're going to take 1 year to 2 years, 2.5 years to build. So how late is it going to be? So if you're going to buy, you have to have your contract accordingly, like refund in a certain amount of days, something, right? You got to have built in because you might have to wait 5 years. You might be at 2030. And this goes for everybody. There's some people right now that, like Oceana, for instance, a perfect example. They're pretty close to finishing, but they don't have that many people working at their project. So is it going to be done in 2025? I don't know. And they're talking about building a condo hotel inside Oceana. So now how's all these condo hotels going to work that haven't even started to be built yet? Again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see it. There's nothing new happening. But we're going to have our Punta Cana Investors Forum May 13th, 14th, and 15th. We're still coming. We're still there because we still have to see the lay of the land. You should always see the lay of the land when you're investing. Rule number one. All right. Do your research on your computer, whatever, but you always should see the land, see the area, get an understanding. That's why I want to go over to Jardines, because I want to see what it looks like from 5 years ago. Because after I went there 5 years ago and saw Christopher, I was like, oh, hell no. Well, it's not that. It was just, it's a lower in economic level. So I was like, no. And then when I come out and I see the Bavaro Adventure, I think they have an adventure park there. I was like, this is interesting, odd location. And then, like I told you guys before, the people out there at Christopher, they were the ones saying, oh, yeah, man, they're going to build this out here. There's going to be another one over here. There's going to be one across the street. They started naming all these things. And I was looking around like, so you're doing gentrification? Because this is like third world country territory. At least that's what it looked like back then. So I want to see how much improvement, since I haven't went there in 5 years. So it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be awesome, quite frankly. I want to see it. I'm anxiously, because over the last 5 years, there's been hype. There's been Christopher's been built, and Epic, and a few others. So I want to go see what these things are looking like. It's going to be sweet. So we'll see. Maybe I can get these guys at Jardines to tell me where their shuttle is, and then I can come and check out their shuttle service, see if it's free for real, see if they take people around, see what the schedule's like, because we can always grab an Uber, right? I'm still not driving. I'm not driving in the DR. All right, so I don't have any good news for you regarding it. It's just going to be what it is, just like in America. We can't pick fruit. They can't build anything in the DR for pre-construction. It's that simple. Don't count on any new projects being like old projects that haven't been built yet, like Larimar, for instance. They haven't even broke ground for a foundation for any of their buildings. So therefore, without workers, what's going to happen? The easy prediction, like I said, 2029, 2030. That's where we're going with this. I told you guys before, it was gonna be 2029, 2030 anyhow. Now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. I heard Punta Cana has the highest electric charges on the island. Yep, be prepared for that if you're an Airbnb property owner. Exactly, Paul Castillo. This is also why. This is also why I told people about the thing about, oh, I want the jacuzzi or the jacuzzi on the deck. This is why I said it doesn't matter if we're in Punta Cana or anywhere. I always say, don't do it. Extra expenses for no reason. And you have to turn it on in order to filter it. And if you have a heater situation, you got to heat up the water as well, which usually takes a 240 volt. And talk about sucking electrical. Oof. In Punta Cana area, man, your bill's probably going to be $100 just for the day trying to do some crazy nonsense like that. So just keep that in mind. Thank you for mentioning that. What we got right now. So you decide to hang tight and wait for your units to be completed. We're in the same boat. Well, we had to hang tight by default. Actually, I don't even know my status. All I know is, like I told you guys before, they're holding somewhere between 16,000 and 20,000. Because I stopped paying, because after I realized nothing was happening, which was over a year ago. That's when I realized, about a year ago, maybe it was a year ago, because we're in May. Because when I was there for the SSN Lifestyle Music Festival, that's when I really realized, wait a minute, you guys only have like 18 months, actually less, and you haven't even put a road in damn near yet. You don't even haven't done nothing. So that's when I realized, okay, gotta get our money. And they said, no, don't think so. So no, it wasn't like that, because I would have taken my money and invested it somewhere else. Because it was only a down payment. Because let's just do what Johan told me. He says, What you try to do as the buyer, you try to put the least amount down, make the least amount of payments over time. So I did every 3-month payments. So that gave me a situation where every 3 months is two, you know, 3 months, 3 months. That's 6 months that go by. So now when you're within 20, what was it, 20, 28 months, 30 months maybe, you're down to 24. Then you have to do another 3 months. So that's 9. So we're like down to 21. Right then and there at 21, that's when you know. You guys haven't even started building yet. Do you even have permits? Do you have what? Where's the paperwork? It hasn't come yet. What the heck? Right then and there, it's like, wait, you've got to build 5 buildings in 21 months. And they're not 4 stories or 3 stories. And even if they were, you can't build them. So pretty much at that time, pull the eject buttons, right? Eject, eject, eject. That's about it. Post-retirement travel at Paul Castillo. I heard the same thing. We have to figure something out, i.e. extra charge for the renter. We need to be creative with the daily rate. Post-retirement travel, man. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to be creative. There's going to be so many units that's going to be available for rent. You're not going to be able to, there's nothing you can do. You're stuck. I've seen this picture before. You're going to be stuck, just like the people in Palm Springs when they weren't listening, that were buying in Palm Springs. And I was like, nah, ain't a good idea. And all those people now stuck trying to sell their homes or condos. I can't be stuck. My light's not on. This is weird. I'm going to go right now. In fact, we need to be creative. If I was going to be staying out at Punta Cana, then I would have, Macau, Hard Rock at one of those places. But again, they're in the same boat. There's no amenities out there. And that's a problem. That's a problem. So I'm going to do something on here. I'm going to go look. I'm going to look for, I'll be fair. I'm going to look for the 12th to the 16th, where everywhere, if you stay downtown, it's $250 a night, $200 a night at Central Park. You can find a studio or a 1-bedroom because these people aren't getting rentals, right? I mean, with any frequency. So that's not a problem. In fact, I still haven't even booked a place, just to give you guys an idea how I'm how I'm very confident I'm gonna be paying like $50 a night. I don't really care. Look at this. Well, I haven't gotten there yet, but there's a lot of places. Penthouse unit, $474 for 4 nights, and you can see the ocean from here. Wow. I don't know what section of town. Oh, it's in Los Corrales, I think. Yep, it's in Los Corrales. But in Los Corrales, there's something right now. This is crazy. 105, but it's a guest room. So hold on a second. Let me do this. Entire home. Okay. There's over 100,000 just in downtown Punta Cana out to Los Corrales, El Cordecito, out to Verón. There's over 1,000 units right now for rent. Getaway to the Paradise Corner by the beach. Wow. Wow. 292 for 4. Wait a minute. This is in, oh my God. This is at the beach. 292 at the beach. Okay, just so you guys know, all of downtown, 211, 165, 216, 302. Oh my. Across the freeway, 305, 188. This is crazy. Yeah, this is why I was like, I'll find some place to stay. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's 228, 216, 211, 164, 165. I think 165 is at that seed area. Modern one bedroom near downtown. 165, ladies and gentlemen. Unbelievable. For a two bedroom, it's across from downtown. Wow. Wow. Another two bedroom, 164 for 4 nights, but it's in that wrong section. It's going the wrong way. Outside towards the I don't even know what they call. Hey, Jonay, what do they call that area where you're at? Where Jardines is? What is that? Yep. What's that area that Jardines is? The other spot out there called Alta Vista is still going strong. Doesn't seem to be slowing down now. The selling, now they are selling lots. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, they came up with all kind of stuff. Are you talking about Alta Vista? When you go out to Verone, it's on the left-hand side. I think that's what you're talking about, right? Yeah, I'm not messing with those guys. I know the developer. I don't know if I want to call him developer. He's the owner, and he's having things developed. I rode around with him when I went over there, and he has this property that he can actually see the. If he cut down his trees, I think he might be able to see water. I'm not sure, but he says he can't though. I heard the Dominican president owns Christopher. Not sure how true that is. Well, if it's true, then they jacked people. Those people had two bedrooms at like 49, $50,000, or sorry, $66,000. The two bedroom lock off style. After it was finished, they told them it's 90 grand. The one bedrooms that were like 40 some grand, after they're finished, they told them 50 some grand. Then the two bedroom regular that was supposed to be like 50 some grand, they told them like 70 some grand. Crazy. Crazy. Yes, they do. Yes, Christopher does. And they ended up costing 90 some thousand. They were supposed to be like 60, 66. And then after they finished, they went to the developer said, okay, you guys owe us 30 grand more. And then, of course, lawsuits ensued. But still, people had to settle, figure out, pay lawyers, do all kind of crazy. All right. So downtown 248, that has to be, it's a studio. Central Park, yes. That figures. I'm not staying downtown at the moment because there's no reason. 243, another Central Park, one bedroom. This is what I'm saying. There's way too many units, ladies and gentlemen. So 243, 4 nights. That's 60 some dollars a night, and that includes the housekeeping and the Airbnb fee. So that's why I call these guys making 50 per night, because that includes that 243 for the whole time. That's everything, all in. What else we got? 248, 302, 253. So yeah, you're gonna spend that there. Then when we go over to Vista Cana, Panorama Lake, 200 and something as well. 280. There's a 280 there. Let's see if there's anybody else. No, then it goes to some more. 250. There goes a 250 also. For a one bedroom. So again, there's 2 units, maybe three. Let's see, 252, 352, and that's Panorama Lake for a one bedroom. There's only a few 228. Looks like I can't tell where it is. All right, so I'm gonna go out to Macau, and I don't expect to see any difference out here, quite frankly. We're gonna find out here shortly. Come on now. Why can't I? Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Chris. Oh, and Christopher has a lock off up there too. It's kind of sweet, actually. Two doors, two separate doors, but what they did was something flimsy. Like the other door was too I think it's flimsy. But nonetheless, it's a lock off. It's sick. 99 grand. But they're not going to, I don't think they're getting 99 a night in that area. That's the problem. All right. Let's see here. What's happening here? Oh, okay. Punta Cana road trip. What the heck is this? Okay. Let's see here. That's Cocotel. 219. Inside Cocotel. Wow. 700 meters to the beach. 196. But that's by Cocotel. I'm going to go up to Macau, where we have a few people that own out here. Splash Water Park? Really? Aerostar. Where's... There should be a lot of units here. What's happening? No, nothing. Great Thomas. Here we go. I think I found it. Okay. Out at Hard Rock for these dates, 400 is the minimum. 407, one bedroom. 427, one bedroom. Prices have escalated. Interesting. No more 99 per night. There must be something new happened. Yeah, this is interesting. No 79 a night. No, a lot of 400s. So something must have happened. 419 for 4 nights, 100 per night. It says new. 447, 2 bedroom, 100 per night. But 1 bedrooms were not 100. They were 117, which is close. They were, and up, depending on which project you're in. I don't see anything here 99 a night anymore. 75 a night. So there must be some sort of, yeah, this must be, Victor Marrero, have they changed their rules? Okay, Paul Castillo, he has something to say. Hi, Eric, I heard Larimar had a Sky Tour and is also having a sales fair in Miami. It's not even a sales fair in Miami, which it might be a positive sign for them to speed up the project. Forget about it, Paul Castillo. Don't just go to their Instagram page and you'll go see what they're calling a sales fair. It's not even a real estate thing. I don't even know what it is, quite frankly. If I would not book a booth there to be there for no real estate buyers. It's almost like, it's just like them going to the polo place and going down to the PGA Tour and putting a sign up saying you're sponsoring a green or something crazy like that. That's not going to help you sell anything. 1 unit, 3 units, who cares? The people that you're over in Cap Cana doing that, they're like upscale. So you're going to woo them, but then they're going to be like, well, that's way up there. Sure, you might have a few buyers, but it's like a waste of time, energy, money. Having a booth out there, having to pay money for sponsorship, and then you get a few people to sign up. So what? After that event's over, nobody knows you. And it makes no sense. Yeah, and that Sky Tour BS, that's BS. I'm not with that. Going up in a crane pulls you up just so you can sit up there and go, I can see whatever I see. Everything you can see is when you're sitting on the cliff, you can see the water, you can see the city. At nighttime, you can see the lights. I mean, I don't need to go up 10 feet. I don't need to go up 30 or 50. I think it's just a marketing gimmick. And it is a gimmick because they have to keep selling because they aren't building. So where are they going to get the new buyers from? As old buyers aren't paying or want their money back. I mean, they're in a no-win scenario as far as I'm concerned. And now they're lying to people, right? So they have people that bought in the last 6, 8 months, right? And they told them we're going to do their contract is March or April 2026. Well, the people that have Paradise, their contract says delivery June of next year, 2026. So does some people that have the Breeze Tower. They're say June or December of 2026. None of that's happening. And all these people know it because they're a year and a half away. So now you have a whole bunch of people probably asking questions and getting no answers. So that's very, very bad. Pueblo, Bavaro, Jardines Residential Park. Yeah, I know. I that's the thing. But I'm shocked. Before I forget, post-retirement travel. It looks like they've done some rental numbers. It's looking like it's mandatory. You can't rent for $75 a night your one bedroom. You can't rent $65 a night. You can't rent $99 a night for your two bedroom. It looks like everybody's over 400 for the 4 nights, the 12th through the 16th. Everybody. There's not one person under 400, and everybody's within 419, 425, 415, 425. And now I'm thinking it says 2 beds. I don't know what that means. This one says 2 beds. I don't know what that means. I'm going over each one of them to see why they're within like $10 of each other. So this new one, penthouse suite, 419 for some other ones. No, there's still nobody under 400. Wait, 396. Golf front infinity pool suite. What that is. Tennis. Okay, that's okay. 396. We found one. Yeah, they're in the range. Wild West is over. They have a lot available, but you have to spend over 100. So there you go. There you go. The most expensive, well, 511, 2 bedroom, 663 penthouse, Count of Pearl penthouse, 3 beds, 663. Okay, great. Might even have, no, does not have ocean. 356. There's a 356, but that's the least expensive. Yeah, there must be rent control. Because no more they got a lot of places for rent though. I'm just gonna let you know right now. I just haven't lit them up yet. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 20. There's at least 20 units, and I'm pretty sure there's more because I haven't even screened the whole list. Zoomed in, yep. 1, 2, 3 more came. Yeah, there's at least 30 units in here. At least. Yep, 415, 447. Yeah, there's more. There's 30, 40 units in here. There's more than 30. If you zoom in, they keep adding more. So there's like probably 45, 50 units in there for March 12th through the 16th. And they're all 400 in the 400 range. So they must have changed something. Ooh. Okay, this Pueblo Bavaro, that bothers me. But Pueblo must be the key phrase. Bavaro must be where, like, I guess, Los Corrales, El Cordecito, and before you get there, I guess. So Pueblo Bavaro is the name of that section you're in. Yeah, I saw it. But Jonay Larimar also has a promotional tour in New York City this month. I know. See, but this isn't going to work. See, this is where the problem comes in. They're going to go over there. You have now 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck with chaos. So do you really think a lot of people are going to be signing up to buy something now out in America with the chaos? And you can't go to the Latin community because they're going to be hemmed up at the airports, potentially deported, for Christ's sakes. So do they want to leave? I mean, this is pretty serious what's happened. So again, I wouldn't recommend them doing this. But then again, what other choices do they have? They're going to have to get buyers. So I guess you go to Miami, you go to New York, you go to Orlando on the East Coast, because those are the cheapest spots. Because now it's costing you $500, $600, $700 per person round trip once you leave the East Coast, and that starts getting pricey. And hotel nights, they're not cheap anymore in major cities. So you have 3, 4, 5 people guessing in a crew, and you're spending thousands to stay somewhere for 4 nights. Food, transportation, everything. That's thousands, probably 10,000. And so, sure, you get a few things, but they're not conducive. These things are ridiculous. Joe Nay says they should go to Europe. Well, see, there's where the problem comes in. Europe, if you're talking about the EU zone, I think last month all they brought in was 200 and some odd thousand people. That's it in the month of March. So again, that's not going to cut it. That's less than 50,000 people per week, and those people are probably staying at all inclusives. So, and that's enough. I mean, you got I think it was 211, somewhere like that. I think that's what it was. So I'm gonna look it up right now. But yeah, congratulations, Victor Herrera, post-retirement travel. It looks like they have a rental restriction. It looks like you have to rent at a certain rate. You can no longer do your 75, 95 a night. Everybody has, the price is $100. Everybody, the minimum is 400 and up. And it looks like, though, you can have a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom for that same price, but it looking like they're saying you can't go below 400, $100 a night, I guess. It's kind of weird. So you're seeing what's going to end up happening when people realize, uh-oh, I can't make my money back. The renters can't. Okay, Castillo, he says this, at least COL projects are moving at a great pace. Yeah, but they were supposed to deliver in like 4 months too, at one time, but it doesn't matter. They're not delivering it December of this year either, so it doesn't really matter. Here we go. Let me see if I can pull. Can't pull. Let's see here. Okay, March. United States contributed the most tourists in March and the first quarter of this year, with the United States at 49%, like we said. Canada second at 23%. So here we go, Jonay. Numbers don't lie. So 43, 23, that's 50, that's 72. 72% in the month of March came from the United States and Canada. That's awesome, right? You won't believe who's next. Colombia and Argentina. 3%. The EU zone not leaving to come to DR in March. So right there, this is the numbers you got to pay attention to. So yeah, they don't need to be going to the EU, according to these numbers. They went down to Colombia, by the way. But again, 3%. Now, 3% out of 3.2, because it was 3.2 the first quarter. So you can actually get the numbers. 32 times 3. 96. I mean, 3% of 3.2. Is that 96,000? That's it. That's Colombia and Argentina combined. Then 23% of the number. So we'll take a quarter of 3.2 and what's that, 800? So we'll roughly go 800,000 for them. And then 50% is from USA. There you go. 1.6, 49% to be exact, so it's 1.5 something. When the number, and this 3.2, it's no new record. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I messed up. The 3.2 includes cruise passengers. I forgot. So actually, the number is even worse. It's lower. Because I didn't take out the cruise numbers for the first 3 months, which is 1.1. So 2.1 air passengers, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's it. And that's no record. So now the numbers are even more dire because we're talking about 2.1. 3% of 2.1 million. What is that? 60,000 from Argentina and Colombia. 23% is 400, let's call it 450,000. I'll even call it 500. I really don't care. 49% is 1.1, a little under or something. Yeah, this is not good. Not good. Not good at all. So that's 9 weeks. That's less. That's a little over 100,000 per week. We need more than that. COL, if they have panels, by the way, one of the few that I've seen that has panels, so they'll always be faster than most projects, as long as they can get the workers. So anyhow, enough about that. Hopefully, how we started this off, everybody understands what you guys should be out here doing, because no matter how you slice it, you're going to be in jeopardy. Cracks in the USA financial system. What does it mean to you? Financial freedom. You just have to work it out. Plan. Think about what you're doing. Try to get rid of your debt. That's what you do. So you'll have more money to get disposable income, even if it's a cup of coffee a day of stocks. Do it. Because in the long run, if getting an extra $50, an extra $200, even if it's that minor, that could be the difference between living on the street or food on the table. And at least you have it. You never know, because it's dire out here. All right. So keep all that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to go any further, but I want to thank you very much for being here. I love you guys very much. And I love this conversation. You know, real estate's my thing. And so we're going to find out how this is all going to shake out around the world. But as the United States citizens don't have any money, they're not coming. That's how it's going to be. All right. They came in January, February, March, but it's no record. All right. So there's a contraction. And so if you're selling a product and you're losing your customer base, the majority of your customer base, 49%, comes from the United States. I expect over the next few months that 49% for the next quarter, I don't expect 49%. I expect 40. And that's going to be a substantial number since we have the majority of people that have come over the years. And that means we're going to be losing millions of United States citizens not coming. And that's not good for a real estate market. You're going backwards. And now you're going to have a lot of forced sales sitting, and you're going to have a lot of projects sitting. And the projects sitting that haven't been completed yet, they're going to cost more in the future. Everybody's going to get that message, that letter, 5% more, 10% more, 15% more. So keep that in mind. And with all that said, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. That's why I do the uncomfortable truths. That's why you got to smash the like button. Share the videos, because the YouTube gods show no love. Harmful rhetoric is what they're calling this. But I want to tell you guys, it's harmful that people don't know what to do. So you guys need to spread the word as well and let people know there's going to be a tsunami of debt that's going to implode. The debt markets are going to lock up because people can't pay them. Now they're not going to get lenders to lend. And I'm not talking about individuals. I'm talking about corporations. I'm talking about the Wall Street firms. I'm talking about all of it. We're going to be in 2008, 2007 situation, I believe. And if tariff wars continue to happen, Even if we get a relief from tariff wars, we still have too many cracks. But yeah, the stock market is going to go boom, it'll fly up. But unfortunately, we got too many things that we're meddling with. We're spending a ton of money on immigration that wasn't necessary. We're spending a ton of money on legal fees, unnecessary. We're spending a ton of money from a government aspect unnecessarily, which affects the people who have the least. So just keep that in mind. Make sure you're good neighbors. Make sure you share and look out for your neighbors, because there's going to be a lot of people that's going to be hurting, I predict. And just be prepared yourself. Have all the necessary equipment for protecting you and your family. That would be highly recommended, because we don't know what's going to happen, right? I don't, but I know it's going to be bad if we get mobs of people going house to house. That's going to be very bad. All right, if things break down even further. So again, you guys already know, third world country is where this is heading. And seems like we got clowns at the wheel, not understanding the severity, because they're wealthy and they make money and they're able to dictate things. So they're in a powerful position. So they don't realize how fragile underneath the foundation is. And it's very, very fragile. All it takes is a swing of another company going, well, we laid off 20,000 people. And then you have another one, well, we're not opening up this plant this year, ladies and gentlemen. We don't have any real sales. And now another 2,000 goes, or another 10,000 goes. All it takes is there's a trigger. There's going to be a trigger point if this continues. Someone I know was on the island recently and tried to go see Cruise on Land project, but they didn't let him in and told him only workers are allowed. Yep, exactly, Paul Castillo. Again, I question they're going at a great pace. The only reason they can do a pace is because it takes less people to put the panels together, because all they have to do is put the panels together and then fill it up with cement. They're not doing block by block, hand by hand, so that gives them an advantage. They're going to go faster, but they have less people. That's the situation. As each month go by, they have less people. As their visas expire, they're not being renewed, or whatever the case may be. So I think they're in the same boat as everybody else. I don't think they're going to win any favors here, and I don't think they're going to deliver on time. And even if they did deliver on time, I'm going to give you guys the best case scenario. You don't want them to deliver on time. You don't want Laramie, you don't want anybody to deliver on time at this point. You want whatever's going to happen over the next 3 years, a year and a half, year and 7 months. You want that to go bye-bye and crash, burn, do whatever. You want to be on the other side. You want to be on the pickup side, the rising side, where people are coming back, where people are saying, I want to invest, because then you have an out. If you're in delivery and they have these 67,000 units for rent every week available, you're going to be miserable trying to rent a $100,000 unit, and all you can get is $50, $60, $75 a night. And you're sitting there going, man, I didn't even have an occupancy rate of 75 or 80, which you're not going to have. But 50%, you're going to be like, oh my God, all I earned was like 3% on my money, 4% on my money. All this, and you're not going to be happy. So I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, right? Don't worry. There's always something you can do. You just have to plan. And don't be too hasty when somebody says, well, we're not going to deliver. But I have to admit, if I had 40, 50 G's sitting there and they're not building after 2 years, I'd be a little like what's happening right now. I'd be a little pissed. And it'd be hard to sit there and say, well, they haven't built anything and it's 2028. That'd be very hard to watch and be patient about. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I want to thank you guys. But be safe, because you never know what somebody's going through. You never know their mental state. You never understand what happened with their friends, family, loved ones, or some random stranger. So just make sure, whatever you do, kind, thoughtful, empathy is the thing. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.